tired and they just choked. Usually, a Baltimore Ravens defense would not give up 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think it's that. I mean, I don't think they choke because of the team they play. They play in a team that's very familiar with them. I mean, for a team that's not even in their division, they do play the Patriots a lot. So I mean, that's a lot of familiarity with each other. So I mean, them giving up them points in the fourth quarter. I mean, it just comes from Tom Brady at quarterback. But in other games we talked about was the Cowboys and Minnesota game, man. And I mean, I don't know, them hook 'em horns thing got to go, and I don't know what's wrong with the Cowboys. They need like the White House back, Michael Irvin, the Dion with the curl or something. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, when you look at the game, I mean, it was a lot of subplots in the game. You had Randy Moss coming back to Minnesota, Brett Favre having to deal with the scandal, but all in all, who stole the show was E.J. Henderson, two picks to seal the game.
Yeah, I think Dallas has had opportunities to win every game this year, so they're close. I think they'll bounce back. And the penalties, why are you going to get another celebration penalty after just basically blowing the game the week before on the same thing with Mark Colombo? That was dumb. And Wade Phillips, again, continues to prove my point. No discipline.
To me, the Cowboys' problem is coaching. If you look at the way Jason Garrett calls the game, Jason Garrett does not call plays to set up plays later on in the game. It's just like he has a book, like a hat, and he's just picking out a play. Okay, I'm gonna go with this
He's too smart to be a coordinator. He went to like Princeton, man. You gotta go to like little schools to be coordinators.
But
one more thing, like also to piggyback off of what Ray said, because Dallas is 1-5. When you have that much talent, 1-4. When you have that much talent, you're always going to be in the game. But when it comes to as far as winning the game, comes to coaching and discipline, which I don't think the Dallas Cowboys have at this time.
Right now, they done shot themselves in the head, the foot, the butt. They done shot themselves everywhere, which has cost them every game they pretty much play. But
like Will said, they're 1-4, and the road doesn't get easier. I believe they have the Colts and Packers on the road. Those are two tough games they have to play on the road, and they got the Saints at home. I think they can beat the Saints, but the Colts and Packers already at 1-4. Those could be two losses. We're looking at a team that can lose 6 games already.
Hopefully they can turn around against the Giants. We'll see. But in other news, we had the New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Man, my man Mike Williams ain't come up big for me. Him and Josh Freeman. I mean, New Orleans pretty much went off. I mean, I wasn't upset. Drew Brees got me some touchdowns, but I mean, I think a lot of us had them. Was looking for an upset. We thought this was the game that maybe Tampa Bay might jump out there and show them that they're serious. I mean, what you think about that, Waller?
I picked Tampa to win. Obviously, I was wrong. The Saints are still the team. I mean, one of the main teams in the NFC South. You had somebody like Chris Ivory, the undrafted free agent from Tiffin University. Tiffin? Yeah. Oh, my bad. Tiffin University, who had 159 rushing yards on 10 carries. I mean, they always have somebody rotating at running back to kind of fill the void. So.
Yeah, Marcus Colston, Lance Moore look like they're back. In the beginning of the season, they got started off slow. So when you get New Orleans clicking on all cylinders, they're tough to beat. I still think Tampa Bay was a little overrated coming into the game, and it kind of showed because they had a lot of hype. Cincinnati is overrated. They beat Cincinnati at Cincinnati, but I better be careful what I'm saying.
So who'd you pick?
Who did I pick? I picked New Orleans. I wouldn't pick no Tampa.
Well, let me ask you this question. With the way they lost to the Steelers and to New Orleans, did this kind of give proof that Tampa Bay really isn't for real, or that they're just still a young team that still has to continue to build?
And this NFL season is hard to determine because you've seen such, parity. Green Bay just lost to Miami, so you think Dallas can't go in there and beat Green Bay?
Miami's a good team to me, though.
Miami is good, but they got blown out against New England.
You know what? Actually, that game with Miami and New England, all special teams.
I understand, but you never know what's going to happen in any game. So anybody can win on any given day in the NFL. We've always known that, but this year it's even more likely to happen than other years. Upsets, so it is what it is.
Well, I'm actually looking for Tampa Bay to be a lot better in the near future, especially another season of them grooming them quarterback and their wide receivers.
Shout out to Sam Bradford.
Big games for this week. We got we just talked about Miami earlier, Ray. We got Pittsburgh and Miami. I mean, what you think about them? I mean, Chad Henne, he's playing Pittsburgh.
At home, I'm going to take Miami, even though I just kind of diss Miami. The NFL, that's how it is this year. Pittsburgh's coming in high. I think Miami's going to have a chip on their shoulder. Look out for Devon Best to have a big game.
What about you over there, Will? Who you got, Miami and Pittsburgh?
If you had to, this is a tough game for me to pick. But if I had to pick one, I'm probably going to go with Pittsburgh. I just think with Ben Roethlisberger being back, that'll give them enough momentum to push them over the top against Miami.
How about you over there, Waller?
being Ben Roethlisberger's second game in the season, I'm saying I'm going to pick Miami. I think Miami's defense might be too strong for him.
Well, I want to go with Miami, but I think Pittsburgh's going to be able to pull it out with their defense. I got, the defense holding Miami a little bit. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, even though they're playing down in Miami. Another big game we got going, a big NFC North rivalry game. I mean, Brett Favre, Green Bay, however subplots you want to bring up. We got Minnesota and Green Bay. I mean, which direction you think that's going to go over there, though, Wally?
I'm going to go with Minnesota. Brett Favre has owned Aaron Rodgers over the last couple years. So I'm going to go with Minnesota.
What about you, Ray?
I don't know if he's on Aaron Rodgers per se, but that Green Bay defense is a little vulnerable, obviously, as Kurt Warner. But I'm going to go with Minnesota as well, and Randy Moss is going to move the crowd again.
What about you, Will?
I'm going to have to agree with my cohorts. I'm going to go with Minnesota. I just think that I think they're going to build off the momentum of the Dallas game. And to be quite frank, Green Bay has a lot of injuries. I don't think they're starting to take their toll on their team.
Mm-hmm.
I got the momentum that Minnesota's built up from beating the Cowboys, carrying over to beating Green Bay. Right now, Green Bay's, they look good like the Cowboys on paper, but right now they're not even really playing up to that level. Even though they have a lot of injuries on defense, the offense has put up numbers, but you were expecting more numbers the way King I was talking about Aaron Rodgers, though. But I'm going with Minnesota. Other games we got, even though San Diego's struggling right now, they're playing New England, and I think San Diego's almost in the same boat with the Cowboys. What's going on out there, though?
San Diego plays good at home, so I think San Diego will beat New England in this matchup.
Brought you over there, Ray.
I'm going to go with New England.
No emphasis?
Well, what do you want me to say? I think they're going back to the old school New England football, like everybody's saying. I don't want to repeat.
What about you, Will?
I'm going to have to agree with Ray. I'm going to go with New England. I just think with the addition of Deion Branch, he'll continue to Deion Branch will help this offense, and I think that they'll beat San Diego.
I'm going with San Diego because I don't think an East Coast team is going to be able to travel all the way to the West Coast and beat them. So, but in the next game, we got the Cowboys and the Giants going up ahead against each other right there. Man, I'm pushing. I ain't going no team. I'm pushing. I ain't going nobody.
Like ESPN Fantasy Football, push.
Yeah, I'm not going nowhere.
Frank didn't deliver his upset pick. I'm going to go with Dallas.
Where you go, Will?
I'm going to go with – I actually think the Giants' defense would be too much for Dallas' offense this week.
I'm going to go with Dallas. I think this is going to be the time they kind of break that snide.
I'm going with Jesus because right now I got to hold it in. I'm praying, so that's on something else, boy. I tell you. We got this. I don't even know why we even talking about this last game. This is for Wally though. Arizona and Seattle, man. Who you got? We talking salmon and chicken here. Who you going with?
The battle of the NFC West, man.
Is that a good thing?
It is what it is. I got Seattle winning. I think Arizona has shown that they can't play defense on the road.
What about you over there, Will?
I'm going to go with Arizona. I think that Arizona has shown over these first 6 weeks of the NFL season that it's not, even though it's not saying much, that they're the class of the NFC West.
What you got to say, Ray?
Seattle.
Man, I hope this game don't even get put on television. That's the way I'm going. But when we get back, we're going to talk about some good old fantasy football. We already got riled up a little earlier. We're going to get riled up again because it's getting heated in here. We got to hop into that commercial break.
Hey, what's up? It's your man Ray Rogers of the Urban Sports Scene, and recently Will T and I set out on a mission to see what the people think of our show. All right, there's Mike Wilbon right there. Wilbon, what you think of our show, dog?
I should say the next, it's the big thing.
Oh, that's what's up, man. We feel the same way. Coach Rivers, Doc Rivers. There's Doc Rivers. Go ahead, Will T. Good interview with him.
Coach Rivers, how do you feel about Ray no longer being the host of the Urban Sports Scene?
I mean, Ray, he was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. I thought I was great as the host, but it's all good. Big ups to my man Fish. There's Alvin Gentry, man. Coach Gentry. What you think about Fish being the host of the Urban Sports Scene?
I've always been a big fan of his.
Oh, so you familiar with him before the Urban Sports Scene when he was host of the Mac Fish Show?
No, I'm not saying that, okay? No.
So what are you saying? Anyway, man, let's move on. There's President Obama. Obama, my man Will T here, he dissed World Cup, man. What you think about him dissing World Cup?
He's a jackass.
Keep it locked to the Urban Sports Scene, because you never know who's listening.
Welcome back to the Urban Sports Scene. We about to hop into that fantasy football. Little brother Ray is already drained from us talking about it earlier. He don't want to get into it no more. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
No, you got to.
It's like good versus evil over here. I'm the evil empire. Ray's the good guy. I mean, I like wearing black, so I'm good with that. But
Yeah,
am I not? What am I the evil empire? I'm like the Yankees because I can go get any player, or that's the way
not
y'all
at
made
all.
it seem with my
Not at
trade.
all.
No,
I'm just clearly stating the facts. Your trade is a very one-sided trade. I understand what you're doing. You're getting rid of a hot player who down the stretch run will not probably produce, and I understand that.
I mean, he wasn't gonna crack my starting lineup, but that's a bunch of other stuff, man. We're gonna talk about how Bama's did this weekend in the leagues. What's going on? What happened this weekend? What about you, Will? What
I
about
was
you?
3-0 again for the second week in a row in my leagues. I mean, to total for the season, that brings me to 15-3 in all three of my leagues.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in